Hello and welcome to this video and to something slightly different for my channel because I've done a reading challenge that no one set me, I just fancied doing it. So I thought I would come on at the beginning and at the end just to top and tail this video. So the plan was to read for 24 hours and see just how much I could get done in that time. I filmed this over the Easter bank holiday, so obviously when you're seeing this it's quite a long time ago. So if you're interested in any of the books I read, I will link my April book review video up here for you in case you're interested. So the reason I did it over Easter is obviously we have the 4-day weekend, which meant I had time to get things done in our house for the first 2 days. I then took Easter Sunday as the day to read, and then obviously Monday was there as the additional day because I was going to read for 24 hours. Let's jump straight into it and see how I did. Right, it's 8:18, you can't see that, it's 8:18. I've woken up about 18 minutes ago and I'm going to start this challenge. As you can tell, I'm really up for it right now. So the maximum I'm going to read for is 24 hours. To be honest, it's kind of unlikely, I like my sleep. But we're going to see how far we get and how much we get done. I've never done anything like this before. The circumstances fell that it seemed like something I could give a go today, with it just being me and Jeff, and it's bank holiday, so I have tomorrow off as well. So yeah, I'm going to read for the day. On an average day, the most I would read is about 100 pages. Obviously if I'm on holiday that would be more, but I've never actually worked out how much I can read in a day if I just focused on reading. So I'm going to read a chapter or two before taking somebody out who is currently here. Jeff? Yeah, I woke up with him staring at me. Also, ignore this stain. I had a flare up in my eyebrows and my what they called eyelids. So the past couple of nights I've had Sudocrem over them, and that's obviously rubbed off on my pillow. I suppose we should be reading rather than rambling on about my bad skin. So I am 278 pages through A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. So that is the first plan of the day, is to get that finished. So we're going to read maybe up to page 300 before we go out. So this, if you don't know, is a fantasy. I very, very rarely read fantasy, so that's a change for me anyway. But it's also a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I'm enjoying. I'm, as you see, quite far into it. I've been reading it for about 2 days now, and I'm finding it really accessible for a fantasy, which is nice. But let's get on and actually read this for a little bit. See how long Jeff will allow me to do this for. Right, we've got to the 300 page mark of A Curse So Dark and Lonely. So it's time to take this crazy boy out for a walk. And because I'm doing a book day, I found a audiobook on my library app. So my library use Libby, and when I decided to do this a couple of days ago, I went through I went through my incredibly long list of books I want to read from the top, so from the oldest one, to find which one was available. So we're going with Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, as my book of choice for while I'm out with the dog. So this, I don't really know a lot about it. From what I gather, could you get your head out the bag please? From what I gather, the child in this, the boy in this, his dad dies in the September 11 attacks, and then he's now going on some sort of, get off my wire, how are we going to go out if you keep sitting on things? And he's now trying to solve some sort of mystery that he finds in his dad's wardrobe or something. But anyway, we're going to start listening to that. We're going to go for a walk to the lake, so if you're interested in what I'm talking about, I have done videos about that before, but because we've done it a few times now, I'm not going to film it. I'm going to leave my camera here, get lost in my audiobook, and hopefully get decent amount of steps in because I don't imagine I'm going to be moving a lot if I'm reading all day today. Right, I feel like we've had a bit of a slow start. I've read 50 odd pages of A Curse So Dark and Lonely, and we're 20% through Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. I'm never sure if I'm getting that the right way round. And it's 11 o'clock, so that's been about 3 hours, so we haven't got very far. But, excuse the dog drinking, it's now 11, as I've just said. This is Sunday, which means I've got a video coming out, so I'm just going to promote myself quickly on that. I do that through Twitter and Instagram. If you ever want to follow me, my links are in the description below. And then I'm going to set an alarm, probably to about 12:30, 1 o'clock, do some solid reading, and then think about some food at that point, because I've not eaten yet today. So that's the plan, Jeff. You ready for the plan? Let's do it. Right, 12:30, we've made it to page 400, so we've got about 75, 80 left, so I think that was a good chunk of reading done just then. But I'm now absolutely starving, so I'm gonna order myself some food, but I don't actually know what I want, so that's a problem. If you haven't gathered, Pete's not here, so I'm gonna have a takeaway today. But I need to work out what I actually want, and I don't know what that is. I will come back to you when I've made a decision. So that took far too long to decide what I wanted to eat. What I wanted was a wrap from the Turkish place, but that doesn't deliver until 5 o'clock tonight, and I'm hungry and I want my dinner now. So I'm slightly ashamed to say that I've had to go for a KFC, which is nice. I like a KFC. I don't get it very often, but it's not quite what I wanted. So now I need to take Jeff for a quick walk around the block before that arrives. We'll stick on the audiobook, get a little bit more of that done. Then hopefully we'll get some more reading done, because that's what we're supposed to be doing today. Right, it's arrived, my weird concoction of things in that bag. So I'm going to eat that with some spinach that's in the fridge. That's why I'm pointing to the fridge, but you can't see it. Gonna do that with maybe like a half-hour YouTube video, and then we're gonna get on reading this afternoon. And this is what I deal with when I eat, on the sofa. He did have his head on the arm, sort of longingly staring at my chicken, but I moved, so that's why his head's not there anymore. I'm not gonna share with you, Jeff. Sorry, it's my dinner. Right, some time has passed. It is now 3:27, and I have finished A Curse So Dark and Lonely. I enjoyed it. I don't normally read fantasy, as I said earlier, but I found this one really accessible and really easy to read. And as I said, Beauty and the Beast retelling, so the story was always going to be a good one. I'm filming this a lot earlier than it will come out, so if you want to hear my full thoughts on this and any of the other books I read in this vlog, I'll link the book review up above. Excuse my washed towels there. So that means we now need to go and pick another book. So I think I might make myself a hot chocolate, pick myself another book, and then probably come back to this exact same position and start that one. But I do need to move my little foot heater here so that I can go and do that. Jeff, could I have my feet back, please? Nick, thank you.
Right, so this one needs to go on the books I've read this month pile. And then I already know which one I'm going for. This one. So we're going to read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Got to say, I'm really excited to read this, but I'm also really scared because I know everybody loves it and I'm a bit worried. What if I don't like it? But a completely different tone next. But first, let's clear up my dinner mess and make a hot chocolate. Right, it's 5:15. We have got to husband number 1. So I think this is probably a good point to pause so I can take my dog for another walk and stick on my audiobook, which I didn't do at lunchtime. Listen to a bit more of that. So I've read about 40 pages of this book, which I don't think I explained what it was. I mean, not that I have to, because I think everybody under the sun has read this book other than me. But if you don't know, it's about Evelyn Hugo, who is a Hollywood icon from like the 60s kind of thing, and she's decided, after having not done any interviews or anything for a very long time, to get her life story written, and she chooses a rather unknown journalist to do it. As you can see, we're not very far in. I'm holding judgment at the moment. I mean, I like the writing style, I have found it interesting, and I am interested in the 7 husbands, so I'm intrigued where it's going to go. But I think before we get into the bulk of it and the husbands, we need to take this little chap out who's licking at who's licking at the duvet when he's not supposed to. Are you Jeff? Jeff, would you like to go for a walk? Jeff, would you like to go for a walk? Oh, crumbs. I'll take that as a yes, mate. I'll take that as a yes, you would like to go for a walk. Whatever you do, please don't fart. Come on then, get off my head and I'll take you for a walk. Thanks, Jeff. Right, time to go and find my headphones and put on the audiobook. I'm going to stand here because it's quite sunny and you'll get glare. But we're back from our walk, aren't we, Jeff? Can you even see his face? So we're back from our walk. I've listened to some more of the audiobook. I just don't think audiobooks are for me, really. I don't find I concentrate as well. Sorry for the bobbing up and down. I'm trying to finish off my steps. I've got 240 to go. Yeah, I'm not sure audiobooks are completely for me. There seems like there's 2 sections to this book and they don't seem to
cohesively fit together, but I don't know whether that's just because of the format that I'm listening to it in, that kind of thing. Consuming it, because I refuse to say reading for an audiobook. But that's my own personal thing. You don't read it, you listen to it. You're still consuming the story, which is fine. I don't care about that, I just don't like the terminology. And I said I wasn't going to go into it, and then I went into it. So we've done a little bit more of that. So I'm just not sure audiobooks are for me. Or maybe I'm just not picking very good ones, I don't know. So I'm going to be moving back on to Evelyn Hugo once I finish my steps, and I've currently got Chloe Reads Books reading sprints on the go to see if that will keep me motivated. I don't feel like I've read that much today, even though I've read more than I would normally read in a day. So I would like to get a sizable chunk through that book this evening, but we are at like 6 o'clock. So I probably have another 6 hours of reading, and I'm not really going to move except for the last quick wee for Jeff, so let's see where we get to. We're back where we started. It is 9:20, so I've been doing this now for 13 hours, as we started about 8 o'clock. So yeah, I'm gonna lay here and read, definitely till midnight, and then we'll see how we feel after that. I know that's not 24 hours, that's 16, but I do also like sleep, so. Currently 114 pages into Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I really like Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing style. That's really hard to say. I think it all flows really well, and she's obviously put together a fun timeline for it all. This is a really bad angle for my chins. So yeah, I'm currently in The Second Husband, and I'm finding it very interesting. I'm not quite sure why everyone classes it as a 5-star read at the moment. For me it's about a 4, but I'm not even halfway through yet, so there's still quite a way to go. So maybe something happens. So yeah, I'm probably not going to come back to you until the morning, and I'll wrap up everything then. But thanks for coming along with me on my little book reading challenge. Jeff has also enjoyed the day, haven't you, my little boy? Lots of cuddles because I haven't moved very far. So yeah, I'll catch you in the morning when we can do a wrap up of everything. So there you go, that was my reading challenge. Obviously I didn't quite make the 24 hours because after that last clip I went to bed at about 12:30 and woke up then at about 7, so I had an additional hour in the morning because I started at 8 AM on the Sunday. So in the end I read for about 16-17 hours, and in that time I read just short of 500 pages. We're talking like 4 pages short, so just short of 500 pages. I completed one book, which was A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I had started before, and I got 3/4 of the way through The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and I also listened to about 30-40% of Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. So not quite the length of time I had envisioned, but I know myself, so I kind of knew I wouldn't last 24 hours anyway. I like sleep too much. But it was actually a really enjoyable day, and something that I won't be doing for 24 hours again, or attempting it, but when I do have a spare day where I really don't have anything I need to do, I might dedicate it to reading again, because by doing that in my brain I didn't feel guilty about it, which is often the case. I'm not sure if 500 pages or just short is good for 17 hours or not, but I did have some other things to do, what with walking the dog and things like that. But there we go. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!